Good afternoon and welcome to today's Learn, Teach, Play online webinar. My name is Billy Lawler and I will be running everything in the background for today's presentation. We're thrilled to host today's session, Bach to Rock, inspiring your string orchestra and engaging pieces with the amazing Mark Wood. Before we get started, I have just a couple of housekeeping notes for you. At the end of the webinar, we will provide a link to the certificate of attendance for today's session, as well as a short survey for you to tell us how we did. Upon completion of the survey, you will receive a $15 promo code for alfred.com. Please note the certificate of attendance will only be available for live attendees and not for the replay. If you have any questions throughout the session, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A box. Without further ado, I would like to introduce today's presenter. Mark Wood is a Juilliard-trained recording artist, performer, producer, inventor, and Emmy Award-winning composer with a passion for music education. He is an original member, founding member of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the innovator of the electric violin, and has sold over 10 million records. He's toured and performed with artists like Billy Joel, Celine Dion, Paul McCartney, and Kanye West, just to name a few. He is the founder of the Electrify Your Symphony Music Outreach Program for orchestra, choir, and band, as well as the Mark Wood Rock Orchestra Camp for string players and singers, and the Mark Wood Music Foundation, which oversees all of Mark's programs. Mark, thank you so much for being with us today. I will let you take it from here.
As I come out of the side room, hi guys, how fun is this going to be? I can't wait to share with you what we've been doing at Alfred. I want to thank everybody at Alfred and Smart Music. You guys have been fantastic. We're looking at a whole new world right now that requires us to really think deeply and adventurously and using our imagination to expand and grow our great string programs and our music programs. I think this is a great time for us to really talk about all of the topics that really are important right now after the crazy year that we all had. I think that this coming year it's important that we position ourselves not only as musicians, not only as teachers of music, but mostly string teachers, which are my clan, and you're joining us this afternoon to go over some of my new music that we're doing with Alfred that's available right now. And it's super exciting because in our session today, I'm going to be sharing videos. We're going to look at the scores. We're going to listen to the music, and we're going to be able to share videos of performances of some of the songs that we did at my camp and live performances with our Electrify Your Symphony program. So we're going to first start by introducing my instrument. This is a Viper that I built and that we sell these all around the world. We are the premier manufacturer of electric strings, and we love empowering our orchestras with not only the great tradition of our instruments, but equally important, integrating 3 to 4 elements to our future: technology, improvising, global styles, and diversity in our classroom. We need to recruit and retain our students now more than ever. They are walking by your classroom. We want them to walk right in. Are they interested in viola, cello, bass? Hopefully yes, or violin, but we want to engage them on a multi-level experience, just like all the other electives that they have. So what I'm going to actually share with you first is drills. We're going to go over a little bit over the drills that I use. And I have found that when I work with our schools, these drills really help. I don't use just a click of a metronome. I use drum loops and drones for our intonation. So I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on the drills. If you do these every day from day one with beginners, this will enable them to understand the critical parts of music making, which is most importantly, emotion. Now, with music, our music rooms are not just teaching orchestra and notation and quarter notes and Beethoven and Mozart. We're talking about creative intelligence development, emotional intelligence development. This is how we engage the student of the new generations who are going to be walking into your classroom expecting something that's vigorous and robust and interesting, that they will hold on to it so that they don't say those dreaded words, oh, this is boring, I'm out of here. No, no, no. Our string orchestra programs and our classrooms are exciting and interesting and invigorating and full mind and body and soul with our emotions. So with these drills that I have worked on, I'm going to just give you a quick example of how that works. As you can hear on my iPad, we have a drum loop. I use my iPad and GarageBand. I have a drum loop, which is multi-level rhythms because we have eighth notes, we have quarter notes, and we have a feel. So we can feel to that music. Now we also hear a drone. It's in D major, so if let's say we're doing a D major scale, watch how it goes. I'm gonna actually stand up. So we're gonna be moving like this, right, left, just like that. Nice long half notes, and then back down again, just like that. But the motion is you're following the direction of your bow. Now, cello players have to sit, obviously, so even while you're sitting, you can move in the direction of your bow. As soon as you can, with your young beginners, make them feel and understand that music is emotion. And you have to have motion to have emotion. So it's a really, really cool way. If you do this for 5 to 10 minutes, beginning of your classroom, the drone anchors your pick, so you really can hear the intonation, and more equally important is rhythmic accuracy. So if you do that every day, that would be a super, super help. Now, if you reach out to us at hello@markwoodmusic.com, we can supply you with all sorts of additional information. We have a short amount of time, so I want to really make sure we deal with all the great stuff that we're going to fit in right now. So what we want to start doing is really thinking about the diversity in your music room. And by the way, on the wide shoulders of our great, magnificent classical music. As Billy mentioned, I was a Juilliard trained. I came from a musical family. We had a all-brother string quartet. In fact, my great brother, Stephen Wood, is joining us today from Connecticut, a fantastic musician and a fantastic teacher who actually helped with some of our bowings on this stuff, I'll share with you. And all of my technique and my musicality came from my classical training, so I use it all the time. But not only can I do classical, I can do some fiddling, I can do some Indian, Celtic, jazz. So there's so many things that string players can do with this instrument, and we want our new classrooms of the 21st century to not only reflect the beautiful majesty of our classical music, but equally important, bringing diversity into it with musical style. So we learn about other cultures, learn about, Europe and the history of America. And we're going to talk about the blues and America's music with my music right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right to Hunters of Avatar is the first song that we're going to look at. And we're going to briefly look at the score and the sound so you will hear it. Of course, we got to wait till the advertisement is over. Hold on a second. We got to get the ad.
This is the kitchen where the...
Okay, here we go. Now let me share the screen and you will see, and you're going to watch the score. So I'm going to do the share screen. Hold on a second. All right. Okay, so this is Hunters of Avatar. Hunters of Avatar is for level 1 and grade level 2. So we have two choices. You're going to see the score, and I'm going to guide you through just the beginning part of it. And what is great about this piece that I wrote has an improvisational area for your students to explore expressing themselves. The key is in D major, but we start in E minor, and the solo is also E minor. Additionally, you're going to see a lot of cool movement and choreography, which I'll share with you. Let's go right from the beginning, and I'll talk through this. Here we go. We're right at the top. And we're starting with the drums. Hey! Hey! You have stomping with their feet and then yelling. We're starting with the first melody, first violins and the second violins do the melodies. Now the violas and cellos respond. So I do a call and response with the violins and the violas and cellos. Back to the violins, up a third. Violas and cellos. Now we're going to the bridge. And you can see on the top of the score is the grade 1 performance of that. So you really get 2 levels. And here we go at the chorus. Now, if you notice at the chorus, I specifically wrote this rhythm. So that we can move. So when I perform this live with our school orchestras, we have them going right, left, right, left, right. As that moment where all of a sudden the orchestra is moving and feeling to music. So that chorus part at that spot happens 3 times, and you can really explore the movement of that music. Remember, we always want them to feel the music, not just read it and mechanically play it, but to feel it. So we're going to go to the next chorus, and we're at measure 41. Second verse, first violins. Now the cellos and violas respond. The bridge. Okay, so now we're going to skip ahead to the solo area. We go back to the stomping of the feet and yelling, which is always fun. Right here is the improv. As you can see at 93 I actually wrote out a possible solo part for everybody, but right here we're in E minor, which is the E minor Dorian. They can learn just those simple 8 notes, or you can teach them the E minor pentatonic, which is just 5 notes they have to understand, just 5 notes, to make it really easy in 1 octave, make it really simple for them to understand how to improvise. When you improvise, it's like a writer. You're learning grammar, you're learning spelling, you're learning all the mechanics of writing, but eventually you have to write your own story like a journal. Music is exactly that same way. We want to have your students and our fellow musicians to understand that we're here to hear your story. We are in the audience. Tell us about your life? And through improvising, we can do that. I can give you an example. I'm just going to, off the top of my head, play for 15 seconds of an improv thing that I've never played before. It's instantaneous and it's completely... So different techniques that we can incorporate into our language skills. Remember, music is the ultimate language, and we want to teach our students how to use the language to express their feelings and their lives. Not only the great Mozart in classical music, which requires a good reading skills, but equally important, their own story. So my friends, we are now going to move on. The next song I'd like to look at is Arizona Sun. Arizona Sun also has improvisational moments in A major. And you know something, actually, before we go to that, I do want to share with you a video of Hunters of Avatar live. So my friends, I want you to watch the screen right now. And this is a orchestra program in San Antonio. And this is a very special group. work with them every year. For the last 9 years, we arrived and there were about 40 to 50 students in the string program. Now there are hundreds and hundreds of students who want to be in the orchestra program, because once a year we come out and do a big concert, all memorized, by the way. And this is a wonderful group called Rock and Strings. I'm just going to scoot ahead so you see the ending or the middle part of it. Check this out, though.
I got the new music for Mark Wood. I got the new music. I got the new music for Mark Wood.
Watch this choreography that we worked on. It's so powerful. These kids taking control of their music, taking charge, owning the spotlight, smiling, engaging the audience. The great Heather Gonzalez, this is her program in the great San Antonio. So you get an idea of what these kids are capable of doing with music. And that's why we want to engage them in the orchestra programs, choir and band programs, to the broader sense of life through their music. Okay, we're moving on. Thank you, guys. And we are going to jump to Arizona Sun. And this is a composition that I wrote that has improvisation in A major. So you will be able to follow this along and follow the score, and I'll talk through it. It's pretty much, I think it's for grade 1 or grade 2. As you can see, I'll bring the screen up a little bigger. It's an A major. It's about 120, the tempo. We have grade 1 on the upper part of the score and grade 2 on the lower part of the score. And we're just going to go right from the top. You'll hear the drums coming in. And of course, I'm a big believer of percussion and drums to drive rhythm. Now the cellos have the melody at 13. Actually, the cellos don't have the melody, it's just a violin still. The next verse, we have the cellos coming in, but I have the second violins in harmony with the first. We're at 21, 22. All right, now here the cellos and violas taking that same melody. And right here is where we do the improvisation in A major. We repeat it so that you can have different soloists coming on. Let's say a viola player wants to solo. So that's repeated twice. It is a great, great fun piece that has rhythmic energy to it. Again, this is not replacing any other style of music. It's augmenting and partnering with an invigorating experience for these students so that at the end of their orchestra rehearsal, at the end of the concerts, they're jumping and they're excited and they're loving everything about the music that they are playing. All right, we are going to move on. And let's see, the next one is String Thang. And this one's a great opportunity for us to talk about the blues. The blues music is America's music. So let's not forget the incredible importance of the blues. And we have a great, great outreach with our music as a great country to really teach our new players what America's music is. And if you can hear my violin, the blues scale, that style of music, actually not only the style of music, but the violin, a bowed instrument, participated in the evolution of the blues back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So stringed bowed instruments participated in this great American styles. A lot of these fiddlers and blues players couldn't read music, so they played by ear and by instinct. And that's a great way for us to share with our students that the broader sense of educating ourselves, the broader sense of learning can combine not only the great academics, reading, sight reading, quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, and all the great important ways. It's just like reading. You got to be able to read, but we also need to be able to create that creative intelligence. So let's see if we can find this, and we're just going to look at this for a second. This is string thang. And here we go. We got 2 sets of playing levels. We've got grade 2 and grade 3. You can hear the outline of the scale. We're in E blues. And of course, more screaming and yelling. I love that part of orchestra. So it's a 12-bar blues sequence that you can teach your students to understand how the chords work in 12 bars. And you can see the advanced solo part. Now, what we've been finding in the last couple of years when I go to schools, which I love doing, and we're looking forward to a really exciting year this year with our new tour, the Spotlight Tour, is that we have multi-levels on some, if not most, of my arrangements. On the top, as you can see, we have grade 2. The bottom, we have actually it's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 on the lower part, but we also have an advanced solo violin. And we all have string programs where there's 1 or 2 kids who are just incredible players. Let's give them something also to learn that's really challenging for them. So this piece does this. And back to my brother Steve, he actually wrote out different, instead of the advanced violin part that I've written here, just simple blues scales that you can actually, as the teacher, compose and let the kids compose in these areas that are blank. Also, when you get my music arrangements, you get the play along tracks. That's what's going to be really, really fun, is make sure you download the play along tracks and the videos. Okay, we are moving on. And let's see, what do we have next? We've got Bolero. Okay, so this is a really, really fun piece I want to share with everybody. Bolero is a composition that I wrote, and it really signifies a lot of my, hang on a second, we got to go back one more thing to String Thang video. I just saw the video here. Hang on a second, guys. I want you to share, watch this video. And this is a school, middle school that we worked with, performing. This past year, as you know, we were doing an online hybrid with our schools to help our great teachers deal with a very challenging year, as we all know. And we did these online videos. So check this out. This is a great group of Glacier Creek. So check it out. And we had this great orchestra teachers working with these students on this. They all filmed themselves. Check it out. And these are all beginners who really rose to the occasion of making great fun videos. We have our choreography. Nathan's there. And there's Laura doing her choreography. So these are one of the many videos that we did in the spring. Oh my goodness, what an incredible, from January to May, we did over 80 schools of videos. It was super great and it really invigorated our students and helped our essential workers, our teachers. We really bow down to our teachers and thank you for hanging in there. This year, we're all back, and we really want to make sure that the message of our music programs is invigorating and inclusive to that wonderful part. So we are going to move on, and let's see. We are going to do Bolero, back to Bolero, and I want to share with you the different levels of playing on this piece of music. And by the way, on the Alfred site, where you can get my music, this will be attached to Smart Music. Very soon, the next month or so, you can have the entire Smart Music catalog, which is fantastic, and Smart Music is awesome. They will have this in their program. Right now, we're just going to look at the score. And you can see we have a grade 2 level on the upper part of the score, and then a grade 4. And this is actually in the key of 1 flat, which is about F major. So it's a very new for string players sometimes to bring in flat keys, but very important. As you can see, the violin 1 on grade 4. We go up that half step to from A to B flat, and it creates a lot of energy. But the grade 2, we have B flat, C sharp. So it's much easier. What we're finding when I work with our great school programs, sometimes the orchestra are filled with different levels of players, and we want everybody to participate. And it's always good psychologically for the younger beginner players to hear, standing next to the more advanced players, they will always mold their playing and influenced by somebody who's better. It's like playing tennis with a better player. You're eventually going to get better. So this is Bolero. We're going to listen to a little bit of that. And we're right at the top. And all of these play along tracks, you can grab on the site. Violins have the melody. Okay, now look at the viola and cello right here. Boom, 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 boom. Every part has its own personality that we showcase. And then back to the beginning. Here we go. Measure 25. You can hear the inner voices also have integral parts because we want our violas, cellos, and second violins to really have cool stuff. The cello line comes in with that. Being a viola player, I love the inner voices. And here comes the chorus. And right here, we've got the violas. You know, it's funny, I'm a viola player, so of course I'm gonna, wait a second, to check out the viola part. If you can see at, gosh, what does this measure? 47, I think it is. The B, bum, 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 bum. It's a counter melody to the violin, so the violas have a big spotlight on that moment. It's really fun for them. Great element of this music is the cellos and basses have a really good groove going on. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum. Dum, da-da, dum, da-da, da-da. Lots of energy. Now right here, talk about moving. In concert, when we play this live, as you can see in measure, sorry, I can't quite see it. It's measure 70. If you look at 70, again, sometimes I compose thinking about, okay, how are we going to move on that? So we have right, left, and right, left, and right, left. So right at this spot, all of a sudden, the entire orchestra is moving back and forth, and the audience immediately erupts in applause and cheers. Whenever the audience, their parents, the community sees kids express themselves emotionally, moving, feeling the music, we cheer them. So right at that spot is one of my favorite parts, that we can really showcase that motion. The song continues. I think there's a part where we do a call and response. So let's try, if you can see from measure 88, actually, let's go back a little further. It really starts at measure 80. If you can see measure 80, bum, bum, beat up, cellos and violas and basses respond. So I did a call and response right there. That's really fun, that we actually have the first violins and the second violins leaning into the violas and cellos, the cellos and violas leaning into the violins. So they sort of have this little competition that's really fun. Here we are, the violins, violas, and the cellos have that great rhythmic theater. Again, as you can see, I have an advanced solo violin part, or it doesn't have to be a soloist. It can be as many players who can play that part. It's multi-levels. We've got different levels for different types of players, and then we have the advanced part. So this one is really successful at our music programs. We're moving on. I think we're in good shape, everybody. If anybody has any questions during this, don't feel that you're going to interrupt me at all. We have our wonderful people who are helping me with this great webinar, so I can get questions while we're doing it. All right, now, next, after Bolero, I'm always forgetting this. We got to check this out. We've got a video. Hang on a second. Let me give that a shot. Give me a second. I will find it for you. And we've got a Bolero video that we did recently that's really cool with Centerville Schools outside of Cincinnati. And one of my favorite orchestra programs to work with. They're fabulous. And we're going to show you the video that we did online. And the teachers participated also in this video, but check it out. It really came out nicely. Check it out. How joyous they are, smiling. And this is them actually playing. You can hear all the music that you're hearing from these videos. That's the string program. We recorded them separately, and then I mixed them all together. Great cello players. Look how they are feeling and moving to that music. That's what we want. A showcase of the new orchestras. And by the way, everybody, you can access those specific videos on the Alfred site, the Mark Wood site. So you can actually share these videos with your students, which I think is really important. Again, if you have any questions for us, you can email us at hello@markwoodmusic.com. And Billy is going to share with you all of the links so that you can connect with us. We just got a couple more songs and we're going to wrap it up. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We want to be part of the conversation for the future. We want to be part of growing our programs instead of shrinking them. At this point, we're challenged, of course, with the reality of life right now, but we are part of the conversation. Orchestra is critically important as soccer. Yes. Soccer, baseball, they're all strong, but so is orchestra and our music programs. All right, we're going to be going to Ride the Wind. This is a brand new composition that I've worked on just for Alfred, and it's really, really been fun working with the great people at Alfred. Okay, so I am going to my site and clicking on the link. Here we go. This is the music.
The LG signature.
Hang on a second.
Technology.
LG signature.
All right, here we go. Okay, so this is Ride with the Wind, and it's just for, I think this is grade 3 or 2. We don't have simplified parts for this. Sometimes if you reach out to us, I actually customize parts for our orchestra programs that we're working with Electrifier Symphony with. But check this out. I've really enjoyed working on writing this thing. I just wrote this about 2 months ago. We have an intro. We are in A minor, right here. Excellent. Let me just make sure I'm sharing this screen properly. Am I sharing it right? Hang on a second. Sorry. There we go. Much better. Take 2, or we'll continue with that. You can hear the music. Here we go from where we are. Just follow along. And 1, 2, and 23, 24. Voicings on the violas at 35. Chorus. Nice 8th note figure in the first violin, dun, dee, dun, dun, arpeggiated figure. You get the idea. Great, guys. Let me just see if there's any questions that we can pause for just a second. Oh, hi, Charles. When you talk about the blues and jazz and curriculum, you have to include the swing feel. Oh, absolutely. Everything you've used an example that is represented the straight 8th notes, but teaching kids a swing. Absolutely. In fact, let's talk about that. And the swing is a triplet feel, or yeah, the jazz repertoire is fabulous. And again, a great example of how great our American styles are to incorporate and to sort of lift our string players up to a higher level of engagement where they can play with saxophone players, our viola players can play with guitar players, we can interact with each other. Thank you, Charles. That was an excellent, excellent comment. I appreciate that. So let's see, we have just 1 more or 2 more. Oh, we have Crazy Train. Let's see if we can fit Crazy Train in. And Crazy Train, back to the rock stuff, really was a fun experience for me for many years performing Crazy Train. And hang on a second, we got this.
The world isn't made with you in mind.
Ad?
Well, it's not.
It's me.
Okay, so here's Crazy Train. And this one is really fun because it has sort of a neoclassical feel to it. And Randy Rhoads is the guitar player who wrote that riff, that famous riff, which goes, as we all know. And it's really a very popular with our orchestra program. So we have that great famous riff that Randy Rhoads wrote with Ozzy, and it's one of our most popular songs with our string programs. It's multi-leveled also, as you can see. We have grade 2 and grade 3 in the front end. And then we have a little improv in the intro, as you can see at the advanced violin part here. And I use a little distortion and effects on my violin. And here's the riff. And we have an easier part for the other players. I gave the violas some fast 16th notes to get them cooking. And again, you know, it's funny how rock and our American styles fit so well with our classical training. I'm really, really happy that we're able to incorporate diversity in our styles and advance our development of our technique so that we can utilize it. But our standard classical foundation, in my opinion, really helps the ability to play in tune and articulate stuff. We've got one more song for you, and this is the last one of our hang today. And let me just make sure that I got this is this is Bach to Rock. This is a song that I wrote, believe it or not, for a I used to write a lot of music for sporting events from the, all these great golf and tennis and stuff like that. And it's based on sort of a Bach feel, so more of our classical world. And it really helps that when you incorporate that drum beat, it really, really opens up a lot of really fun opportunities rhythmically. So you can see this is pretty much advanced orchestra, probably a grade 3 or 4. We have the violas doing the 16th notes and the violins doing that great melody. And we're going to watch just a little bit of this. For the violins right here. Up, 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 up. Now we're in the bridge section. E minor to G major. D-da, D-da, D-da. Second violins take over the melody. And the cellos and violas do that long line. At 41, you can see I'm outlining the arpeggiated chord of that B flat against the C bass. So there's a lot of really, really fun stuff with this music. So that's pretty much what we are doing on part one of our music that we're working on. In the fall towards the winter, we're going to have a whole grouping of brand new music from me. And I'm really excited to contribute to the advancement and the progress and the progressiveness that we need to engage our string players, not only with our great classical music, but our jazz, hip hop, rock and roll, country music, blues, Indian music, Celtic music, fiddling. There's so much great music out there that we're finding that we want to engage these students on a deeper level. You know, it's funny when we walk into a classroom and we want our students to think differently about life through their music. And I think that music, as we all know, is the fastest conductor of emotion for human beings. It's an immediate thing. We know that we have music therapy for that you can actually major in college, music therapy, where you go to hospitals and you work with people who are not feeling well and they're healing by coming in and playing music for them. That actually helps them heal. With Alzheimer's patients, we can activate their memories by a melody that they remembered when they were a child. They may not remember their wife's names or their husband's names, but they can remember by clicking and stimulating with music. So the power of music is our cell to the next new generation of string players that will be walking by your classroom and hearing about this great orchestra program that they all want to be participating in. Thank you so much, Billy. It's been awesome. If anybody needs to chime in at all, unfortunately, I've been busy, so I've not been able to check any of the windows. But I really appreciate everybody joining us. I will put my glasses on so I can see it. But if you can see in the window, my wonderful educational director, Debbie Wyant, is on deck with the chat window. All our websites, we want to help you build your program. Bring in our artists. We have artist mentors, string players, brass players, singers, and a choreographer who inspires your students to think differently and expand their horizons. Thank you guys so much. Whoa, we have Hannah. Hi, Hannah. It's great. We miss you, Hannah. And Billy's with us. And I really appreciate everybody participating. And if Billy wants to jump on for a second, we're wrapping it up. Everybody give a big applause to Billy, who's been tremendously helpful. Yay!
Well, thank you, Mark, so much for that amazing presentation. That was so fun to watch. Before we wrap up, I just want to drop a few links in the chat for everyone. We have today's certificate of attendance as promised, so I'm going to paste that in here. We have a survey for today's session. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Upon submitting your feedback in the survey, you will receive a promo code for $15 off of Mark's titles on alfred.com. So check that out. And speaking of Mark's titles, you can find all of the new titles here at this webpage, alfred.com/markwoodsseries. And then I have a handful of links here that I'd like to share on behalf of Mark. We have his website. We have a link here to Mark's Music Foundation, the Mark Wood Music Foundation, the Electrify Your Symphony Outreach Program, where you can learn more about that. Then we have here Mark Wood's Rock Orchestra Camp website. And I will leave this open for a few minutes so you all can click on those and save them in your browser. And then we have a website here, Wood Violins, where you can check out some awesome electric violins. Once again, I just want to thank you, Mark, for being here with us today. And I want to thank everyone for attending, and we'll see you next time.
Peace and love, everybody. Let's have a great year. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Billy. And thank you, everybody at Alfred and Smart Music. You guys rock. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.